What's going on, YouTube? In my last video, I was talking about the whole podcast thing, and I want to talk separately about podcast equipment and stuff. And basically, back when my friend and I had started our little podcast, we were doing it with some high quality Audio Technica mics, a Zoom H6 field recorder, and while the setup itself produced amazing quality audio, the setup itself was very limiting to where we could actually record. And it was also a big cost investment, with the mics and the recorder. I mean, you're talking mics that are 150 each, plus mic stands, XLR cables, the Zoom H6. Granted, this system allowed for up to 6-channel recording with phantom power. It For what we ended up doing, like I said, while it was a system that would have allowed for expansion and growth, it was limiting because while it was still portable, it wasn't easily portable. So, wanted to talk about some options that are available today, and not to say that system or similar setups to that are more stationary aren't bad options. Basically, if you're looking at starting off a podcast, a video podcast, you can make a simple setup with a simple stereo recorder and two microphones and a breakout cable. Basically, it'll plug into the stereo mic input and give you two separate TRS inputs. If you don't know what TRS or TRRS or XLR, all this stuff, just pull out your phone, or when you're done with this video, just look those terms up. TRS, TRRS, XLR. Just look up those terms, and it'll make, or pause the video, look at that up, come back. Whichever. But you can get a stereo little voice recorder, use a breakout cable that'll split the stereo plug to a left and a right TRS plug, and get two lav mics, two mini shotgun mics. It's best to get the same, brand of microphone. Just make things a little bit easier in post. That way you don't have one that's really loud, one that's not really loud, and then you can apply, if they're both picking up some kind of weird background noise, you can apply the same correction to both. Instead of having to correct one way and figure out how to correct the other one, you can just correct them both the same way, and then adjust the gains independently, obviously. But something like that would work great if you just have, you and a co-host. Now, if you're trying to do two lav mics into it, and it's you and a co-host, and you have a third person in there once in a while, then the mini shotguns would probably be the better route to go, because then you can just your co-host and your guest can just share that one microphone, or the host and the guest, or however y'all decide to work that out, can just kind of share the one microphone, or share the one, and then the other person, But if you're looking at just starting off something, if you're, and I think even if you are doing something where you're gonna have like you and two friends, or you and two other people to start off with, going with a system that's more portable, and even using the H6, it's still a good starting point because it allows the number of inputs it does. But I would recommend start off with something portable, because if you end up, you want to record content at your house or wherever you're at, and then you want to go, you're not limited to either having to bring a bunch of equipment from one place to another place. You're dealing with something that can be packed into a small bag. You can be packed in a bag with your laptops, or it can be packed in just a little small zipper pouch or something. I would recommend starting off with that, because then if later on you end up wanting to produce content, out and about, you have the equipment to do that. You know, even if later on you decide, you know, if you start off with the H6, you can always get some good studio microphones, get some arms for it, or get some, you know, floor stands or desktop stands, and have a setup that's set up at your home office for it, and plug everything into that field recorder. And then when you're out and about, you use, you know, the XLR lav mics or some mini shotgun mics or something tied into that same recorder, and all you have to do is bring that one piece with smaller microphones. But then when you're not on the go, you can record the content with your stuff that's stationary. So the key is just be realistic with what you're looking at, you know, doing. You know, don't buy, don't try and, you know, cheap out on stuff. You know, I mean, it's because good audio, and these videos, I know I could have better audio, but generally, you know, inside my vehicle, you know, I'm not dealing with a lot of excess outside noise. Um, but it's definitely beneficial to look at what your goal is and list out, you know, what you plan on doing. That way, you don't end up buying stuff that's ideal for one scenario, but in practice, you end up pretty much being in a completely different scenario. Like I said, with planning to, okay, we're going to record here, but in practice, you prefer to record in a more portable situation. So that's just something, my 2 cents on, you know, starting out a podcast or doing interviews and stuff like that to produce content for your channel. So thanks for watching. Have a good one.